Good evening. The regular notice requirement of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act has been complied with, and that adequate advance notice of this meeting was given at least 48 hours in advance. On June 20th and 21st, notice was mailed to the Courier Post and the Al Dia. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board located by the reception desk at the central office and all school building bulletin boards within the district. Requesting a roll call.
Ms. Teresa Atwood. Present. Ms. Catherine Blackshear. Mr. Jose Buito Bueno. Ms. Dorothy Burley. Mr. Joshua Cole. Ms. Taisha Manier. Mr. Wasim Mohammed.
Present.
And Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton.
Here.
Madam Vice President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Would like to request that everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Turning the meeting over to Karen, Business Administrator.
At this time, I would like to announce that the board will be going into closed session to discuss the matters of litigation, attorney-client privilege, personnel, real estate, contract negotiation, and investigation. May I have a motion to go into close, please?
Motion to go into close.
Okay, the first motion was made by Ms. Atwood and the second one by Mr. Jose Buito Bueno. And at this time, we'll be going into closed session for approximately 60 minutes. Therefore, we will be back at 6:37. Roll call, please. Ms. Teresa Atwood? Yes. Ms. Catherine Blackshear? Mr. Jose Buito Bueno? Yes. Ms. Dorothy Barely? Mr. Joshua Cole? Ms. Taisha Manier? Mr. Wasim Mohammed?
Yes.
And Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton?
Here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just do a motion now.
Motion to come out of close.
At this time, I call for a motion to come out of the closed session.
Motion to come out of closed session.
And may I have a second motion? The first motion was made by Minister Wasim Mohammed, and the second one was by Mr. Jose Buito Bueno. May I have roll call, please? Ms. Teresa Atwood, Ms. Catherine Blackshear, Mr. Jose Buito Bueno.
Yes.
Ms. Dorothy Burley, Ms. Joshua Cole, Mrs. Taisha Manier, Mr. Wasim Mohammed,
Yes.
Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton.
Yes.
And that we're out of closed session. Thank you.
I'm going to turn the meeting over to Superintendent Pam Armour-Huniford.
Thank you very much. I'm going to come down and give the regular presentation. Our board members will take a seat in the first couple of rows along with our student board reps. Yeah, seriously. All right, good evening, everybody. We are going to begin with a special recognition from our Camden High School Marching Panthers Booster Club. So I want to welcome up their president and devoted leader, Miss Michelle Banks-Spearman. She runs the marching band.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Michelle Banks-Spearman. I'm the president of the Marching Panther Boosters. The Marching Panther Boosters is a nonprofit 501c3 organization that was organized to support the Camden High Band. And in November of 2016, the Camden High Band had the opportunity to travel and compete to Atlanta, Georgia, to compete in the High Stepping Nationals, where our dancers won first place. And our drum line won third place. It took a lot of resources in order for the students to go on this trip. And the trip could not have happened without the support of many people. So first of all, we would like to thank the Board of Education for approving the trip and for paying for one of our buses. We'd also like to thank Principals Alex Jones and Scott Shanklin from Camden High, and our athletic director, Mr. Phillips, for all their support. And we'd like to thank all of you who purchased our shirts, attended our band show, purchased a hoodie, and supported in any way. And tonight, we also would like to thank our sponsors because they helped give us the resources to go. First, we'd like to thank Sheriff Gilbert Whit Wilson and his wife, Board Member Martha Wilson. The Camden Schools Foundation, Parkside Business and Community in Partnership, American Legion, post number 473. And last but not least, we'd like to thank Subaru of America, Inc., who came in at the nick of time and gave us the funds to enable us to have a second bus and be able to take all of the students with us to Atlanta. So at this time, I'd like to present Mr. Sabri, who's going to, and we're going to have some students tell you about how they feel about their trip.
Thank you, Ms. Spearman. My name is Hassan Sabri. I'm the band director of the Camden High School Marching Panthers Band. I would like to say it's a pleasure to work with such great students and parents. It's just a wonderful opportunity for our students to extend their opportunity to learn in music. So I'm going to bring up two great students, leaders. They're going to tell you a little bit about their trip and their testimony and how it helped them. Mr. Kelvin Rosario and Ms. Lanaya Potts.
Good evening. My name is Lanaya Potts. I am a junior at Creative Arts Morgan Village Academy. I am the section leader for Camden High's dance line for the marching band. And I want to, before I go into detail about our trip, I just wanted to thank Subaru and everyone who helped us to get there because we worked really, really hard, long nights, early mornings. So thank you, everyone. High Steppin' Nationals is a high steppin' marching band for high schools. It's a competition, and the Pantherettes were fortunate enough to win first place, so making us the #1 dance line in the United States. So that meant a lot to us, and thank you again for helping us get there. The trip in general, thank you. The trip in general, it opened a lot of doors because there was a lot of colleges. So me being a junior, I got to make connections with certain people who can help me get to where I want to be. And that meant a lot. And yeah, that was my big thing for it. I made a lot of connections, and thank you.
Hello, my name is Kelvin. I'm a junior at Bryn Medical Arts High School. I want to start by saying thank you to Subaru and all our sponsors for giving us the opportunity to travel and compete, and also giving us the opportunity to connect and socialize with bands all over the United States. I myself, for instance, play on Camden High's drumline, and while in Atlanta, myself and the rest of the drumline learned many techniques to not only better our sound of music, but techniques that will help us build trust within our core unit. The trip as a whole was very inspiring, not to just only me, but to the band as a whole. Along with many high schools, there were a few colleges there, and they explained us what life is on college and how to manage time between band and school. They also gave us helpful advice like when the band director enters the room, you are to go silent, and you can't leave until practice is over. The most important piece of advice is that if you practice hard every single day, competitions and games will be easy. And that really helped me and the rest of the drumline because we felt as though we were ready to perform, and thanks to them, we got second place. other than inspiration from colleges, we also got inspiration from other high schools that were there. Because while there, we all played basically the same music, but we all played it different. It was very cool to see how we could play the same music, but at the same time play it different. It really inspired us to play better than the rest of our competition. So finally, I just want to thank Subaru again and the rest of our sponsors for providing us with a life-changing experience and giving us lifelong memories.
One last thing, I wanted to thank Mr. Sabri and Miss Michelle Flack and the boosters because they gave us the discipline and support that we really needed. They were there with us all night and all mornings and making sure we needed to be the best that we can be. So I want to say thank you to them because without them, we wouldn't be where we are.
We have with us this evening Sandra Capel from Subaru Inc. As a token of our appreciation, we'd like to present you with this collage and card of appreciation. Thank you so much.
Let's give them another round of applause. I think everyone here has seen them perform at some point or another, and their work is remarkable. And I especially, in addition to acknowledging Miss Banks-Spearman, the coaches there, and you heard Mr. Sabri's name and Miss Flack's name, and the work they put in. It's unbelievable. I was flipping through my Twitter timeline the other day, and amidst all the tweets about President Trump and the Oscars, a local Courier Post reporter tweeted out, "Death, taxes, and the flawless Camden High Marching Panthers." And I just thought that was an amazing thing. So thank you all again. All right, so we have a lot to cover, and I get the distinct feeling the majority of those here in attendance who have certainly signed up to speak are here for one particular issue. I'm going to try to go through the superintendent's presentation a bit more quickly than I do typically because of the large audience and the number of people who have signed up to speak. So we're actually not swearing in any student board reps today. And so I'll kick it off for, I know what is the issue many people are going to comment on, and I'm going to keep my personal comments brief. I'm only going to reiterate what I said at the family meeting, which is no decisions have been made. We're openly and honestly listening, and I hope that we can have productive dialogue here where various viewpoints are shared. In that family meeting last week, many parents and other community members voiced significant concerns with the proposed merger of Sharp and Davis. So I want to acknowledge that up front. I heard that, our staff heard that. The proposal is one that is rooted in the belief that we could potentially create a bigger, stronger school that offers more electives. Because right now at Sharp, for example, there is half-year art and half-year music, and there shouldn't be. We should be able to offer full-year electives. And with a bigger combined school in this school building, you would have far more electives. In fact, when we look at it on paper, the most electives of any family school in the city. You have other amenities that the Sharp building doesn't have, such as this auditorium and a cafeteria, whereas Sharp's building is somewhat more limited. On the flip side of that, that building means a great deal to the Kramer Hill community. That school means a great deal to the Kramer Hill community. And I imagine we're going to hear a lot of those concerns from residents, from parents, and from other concerned community members. And so I want to just acknowledge that. We hear you. No decisions have been made. We've held some smaller group conversations. Anyone at any point that wants to sit down and share their perspectives with us, we are going to sit down and find the time. We will set time aside to go tour this building if you'd like, or we will simply just hear you out. And so tonight will be the next step in that discussion, and my sense would be by our next board meeting, we will make a final decision. All right. Let me jump into water quality And I alluded to us closing this out during our last board meeting with lead testing now complete. And so I'm going to give you the highlights, and all of the information is now made available on our website. So with the new regulations for water testing, every district in the state has to test any water outlet in which students or staff are consuming the water. So you don't have to test a hand washing sink, for example, but you do have to test water fountains. Believe it or not, we only have 35 to 40 active fountains throughout the entire school district. So for those of you that led this work many years ago, Mr. Davis, Mr. Ingram, and others who took this issue to court, many of our water fountains, such as in Davis, have been stripped out, and we use water coolers. So there weren't very many outlets we needed to test. But out of an abundance of caution, we went ahead and tested 1,400 outlets, even though the vast majority of those outlets are only being used to wash hands or clean dishes or whatnot. So the results came in, 162 of those 1,400 outlets, so about 11% of them, tested at elevated levels. But again, the vast majority are not being used to consume water. So out of those 162, only one of them was in a classroom, and that is a bubbler at ECDC. A bubbler, if you're not familiar with it, is a combination hand washing sink and water fountain. At that school, the lead level came in at 16 parts per billion. What is considered to be elevated is anything above 15, so right over that threshold. We have confirmed with the staff at ECDC that the bubbler was rarely, if ever, used to drink water. The bubbler was used for water play activities. So you can play with water, you can wash your hands, you can wash dishes. The lead doesn't permeate skin. You have to really ingest it for it to have an effect. And so therefore, we believe that we are in the clear. And we're grateful to our staff who led this process to make sure that we, out of an abundance of caution, tested as many outlets as we did. And in that spirit of an abundance of caution, we are offering free lead testing to all parents at the ECDC school for their students. And so we will certainly, and we already have actually, sat down with families and will continue to hear out any concerns that come up. Dudley also had a bubbler that tested at an elevated level, but that bubbler was in a teacher lounge and was also not being used to drink water. And so that's where we landed, and we will continue to be sensitive to any concerns and issues that come up in the coming weeks and months. And if you have any specific questions for us, please don't hesitate to reach out. Those letters, by the way, notifying all families of the news I just shared with you were sent on February the 20th. I want to let you all know that we recently launched the Equity Fellowship. So the Equity Fellowship has emerged from conversations we have been having in our central office about how we can more proactively address topics of race and inequity in our schools. And certainly with the rhetoric coming out of what I believe to be the most divisive political landscape, at least of my lifetime, it has an impact on our staff, it has an impact on our students. That rhetoric has at times been hateful, to be generous. And we want to make sure that we are being proactive in having this dialogue and taking proactive action, and specifically focusing on implicit bias and restorative justice trainings. And so again, we've started this in our central office. Now we want to build capacity within our schools in order to have this dialogue and support our students and to ensure that they know school is a safe place for them. And I'm grateful to our team, Joanna Lack and Alon Drennan and others who have helped launch this fellowship. We had, I believe, over 30 applications, and all were submitted. These are teachers and other school-based staff members who are volunteering their time. And this kind of gives you a brief sense of the scope and sequence of the topics that we will be covering. And so believe it's an important step forward for us, a lot of hard work ahead, a lot of difficult conversations ahead. I attended the first session, and I was very much encouraged by it. Special education programming. I hope a lot of you all saw the story in the Courier Post about the autism program at Brim Medical Arts. So this year, for the first year, we began an autism program at a magnet school. So never has a magnet school had an autism program in the history of the Camden City School District. And this is a step toward not siloing off students with disabilities and putting them in a different environment, but instead welcoming them into a general education environment. And it's a really, really significant step, and I appreciate that. And I thought this story really humanized that work, and it illustrated how welcoming the students themselves have been, who are at Brim, welcoming in the students in this program. And so in that spirit, we've been exploring additional steps we can take in order to, again, not silo off our students with disabilities. And the Goodwill program, you may remember, we've had some discussions about incoming students for the Goodwill program are now being welcomed into our traditional high schools. And so we want to take that a step further, and for the Goodwill program, beginning next year, place all of them in one of our 5 traditional public high schools, as opposed to, again, separating them from the rest of our traditional public high schools. And again, I believe that this is an evidence-based approach, and one that we see the benefits, and grateful again the Courier Post took the time to tell that story. Woodrow Wilson High School Library. So this is a follow-up from several board meetings now of ongoing dialogue, and I just want to give you the latest and greatest and build on what Deputy Superintendent McCombs has shared in previous meetings. So the headline here, in an effort to be brief, is that the library, with additional staffing to allow students to access it more regularly than they are right now, will be open later this spring. So no later than the first week of April, with the possibility of opening actually in the month of March. And so right now we are working to clean out the library of the old materials that are in poor condition, and some materials that are clearly falling apart there. And we're going to donate a lot of those materials to our teachers' classrooms that aren't falling apart, that we wouldn't necessarily want to keep in the new library, and that students can certainly take some of those materials home, and that the leftover materials will all be donated. And so again, first week of April is the launch date, with a likely earlier opening. Very quickly, the Camden Enrollment Fair, the second annual, will be on Saturday, March the 4th. And this year we're going to be at the Kroc Center. Last year's fair, while well attended, the parking was a little bit of a challenge, so we've shifted locations, and we will be at the Kroc Center this year. So again, this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock. It's a wonderful event, and I hope to see many of you all there. Every year we have to do a financial audit, so I just want to briefly tell you all where we are with the financial audit that was completed. The short of it is that we addressed 7 of the findings from last year, so 7 of the findings from last year were corrected. With that said, there were also 11 new findings this year, and a total of 25. So step in the right direction. We still have a long way to go, and the themes are very consistent with the conversation we've had on the stage with board members and with the rest of the community. It has to do with just tightening up processes, ensuring the controls are in place, and to centralize the work of payables and invoices. So no major surprises on our end, and we did address, again, 7 of the findings from last year. Lastly, I just want to let you all know, similar to several months ago when we announced the restructuring of our facilities team, we are restructuring technology. And so in Camden, and we've certainly had this conversation before, we have a very low ratio of students to devices, meaning we have a lot of devices. Now the challenge is a lot of our devices are older, and they require a lot of maintenance and a lot of upkeep work. And so as the district has gotten smaller, we want to be mindful of the infrastructure we need to support technology. And so as we work to navigate these challenges, we've explored alternative solutions to provide that high level of service to our schools they deserve. And so for next school year, we're going to partner with an organization called Mindshift to manage the technology infrastructure and service across our district schools. And our hope is that we will improve that delivery and be even more responsive. Our IT team has each and every year improved the response time, and I think I shared that with you all during our State of Schools event, where the response time on average went from over 40 days now to 7 days, where we can resolve complicated, thorny issues, but we need to do even better. And so we want to elevate that work, and we believe that partnering with this organization, which has a deep infrastructure of information technology supports, we will be able to do that. And it's an organization that is currently in 150 schools across a number of different states on the Eastern Seaboard. All right, just to close out with a few highlights and shout outs, National Signing Day was, I guess, a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago now, and here are a few pictures from Camden High and Woodrow Wilson, and an incredible day for our student athletes. We're sending a number of students, I can't remember exactly how many, but a number from both football programs to Division I programs. We're incredibly proud of those students. There's Kurt right there. Back on Track was an incredible event for those of you that were able to attend. So this honored 22 high school students who fell behind, their grades dipped, their attendance waned, but they turned it around, they improved their attendance, and their grades went back up. And we just wanted to celebrate that resilience, and we wanted to let them know that we've got their back, and we want to let other students know that it's okay. You're going to hit some bumps in the road. It's not always going to be perfect, and that ultimately resilience resides in each and every one of our students. And so really, really awesome that we had some community leaders like Rashawn Prelo. If those of you that don't know Rashawn is somebody who faced a great deal of adversity himself. He graduated from Woodrow Wilson, went to Camden County College, found himself arrested, got his life back on track. This is a story he told himself, and ultimately enrolled in the University of Pennsylvania and graduated, and now works for the Obama administration. He's an amazing guy. So he was the keynote speaker there, and we look forward to partnering with Rashawn on a number of different initiatives. This is just a quick flag. The Teacher and Paraprofessional Job Fair will be held on March the 15th from 4 to 7 at 201 North Front Street. So we have a number of vacancies, particularly with paraprofessionals that we're looking to fill. Certainly on the teaching front, we're always looking, especially in our high-need staffing areas, bilingual, special education, math, science. And so just let someone know that you may think is looking, and just want to let you all know. March the 15th, 4 to 7 o'clock at our central office. At vet school, their special education teacher, Miss Pell Jenkins, kicked off a new series called Girl Talk, which welcomes back women who attended Camden schools to share wisdom with middle school girls. So it's a mentoring program, and we're grateful for the work that she is doing. And here are a few pictures from their last event. Camden High and Woodrow Wilson Athletics, we wanted to give a shout out to a couple people here. So Camden High School senior Lanami Morton just won the state championship in the 55-meter hurdles. Not only did she win the state championship, she ran the 4th fastest time in America. She's the real deal. And we want to give a shout out to the Woodrow Wilson girls basketball coach, Coach Hinson, 100 wins. And junior Miles Thompson on the Camden High School boys team just scored his 1,000th point, and he will now be on the wall. We want to recognize and honor Joshua, who I don't think is here today, but I'm looking at Carmen, his mother. These are a few pictures from an event we had at Veterans Memorial, where the school community there, with support from Lisa Hardwick and CEA members and other school support staff, to support him during a time of need. So he recently had surgery, and he is, as I understand, at home recovering and doing well. He's certainly on bed rest and needs to get some more rest before he's back at it at school. But just want to let you know we're thinking about Joshua. All right. This is the last one, and then we'll do retirements on the stage. So this is pretty exciting. How many of you all know about the Woodrow Wilson French class, Miss Sayard, fundraising to send her students to Paris? Only one person? All right, there we go. Thank you. So at as of like a month ago, they had raised like $3,000 of the $40,000 they need to raise to send the students abroad. And this would, as I understand it, be the first trip abroad at Woodrow in 20-ish years. And so, ton of local press. One story led to another story, led to another story. Different news van in front of Woodrow Wilson, feels like every single day. That number went up to $24,000 in a short period of time. And as of earlier today, we just got another $14,000, so we're up to 38. So we're going to get to 40, and the district has contributed, and if we need to close the gap ourselves, we certainly will, and we're going to get to 40, and so very, very exciting. All right, we'll go back up on stage now.
I'm going to, Board Member Mr. Mohammed, to read off the retirement.
Sure. The board would like to acknowledge best wishes and recent retirees in the district, and we'll start by naming them and their years. Audrey Borling, 35 years. Edward Brown, 25 years. Wilma Kraft, 30 years. Dennis DeShields, 30 years. Kelly Dennis Jenny, 29 years. Rashida Ingram, 19 years. Mindy Friad, 17 years. Gloria Gilbert, 25 years. Hampton Harris, 25 years. Sarah Hill, 25 years. Cheryl Jackson, 39 years. Barbara Lewis, 25 years. Rosa Marquez, 23 years. Angela McDougall, 11 years. Marilis Pagan, 9 years. Ruth Patterson, 25 years. Pamela Remis, 25 years. C. Gloria Rivera, 32 years. Deborah Roberts, 17 years. William Rohr, 18 years. Mary Stern, 25 years. Charmaine Redgrill Barber, 26 years, and pardon me if I'm not pronouncing the names correctly. And Sebastian Vasquez, 32 years. Luz Vega, 25 years. Jacqueline Williams, 26 years. And Ralph Williams, 24 years. And on behalf of the school board and the district, we definitely appreciate these wonderful educators and professionals who has taken their time of their life to serve our children and our communities here in the city of Camden, and we appreciate their years of service.
Thank you. We're going to turn the meeting over now to our student board reps.
Is this? It's on? Yeah. Okay. Hello, my name is Ibn Coleman, and I'm a board liaison for the 11th grade, well, the whole school, but I'm a junior at Burn Medical Arts. I would like to highlight the fact that we now receive SAT prep, and I enjoy this because this increases our probabilities of those top tier scores to get into competitive schools. I like the integration of the new tablets in our science classrooms. And I wanted to note that the Chow Hound, which is those in our student body that aspire to be in the veterinarian field, they will be going to Blackshear, Georgia, to rescue 400 dogs that have been through bad conditions in shelters and bring the dogs back up here for permanent homes. Chowhound will also be hosting a wellness check in April, and on that same day, they'll be giving out food to those who can't really afford food for their pets. In an area of attention, but it's getting resolved as of now, thanks to the administration and the board, was a vacancy inside the geometry math lab department for the underclassmen. But I look forward to meeting Mr. Garland, which is supposed to be the teacher that's supposed to fill that vacancy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Siani Davis, and I'm a junior attending Creative Arts Morgan Village Academy. And I would like to shine light on the fact that all of our juniors have successfully taken the ACTs today, and that's beneficial in our steps towards college. Also, we begin our SAT prep classes, which are provided by the district, and people in other districts pay money out of pocket for these classes. And many students have taken advantage of the classes, and we're working on a solution for those who are less invested. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rasheem Burns. I'm a senior at Woodrow Wilson High School. One amazing thing that was implemented into our school were the incentive trips and awards for students with good grades and attendance. This helps inspire students to do better in school and educate themselves. Recently, we have went ice skating, bowling, went to the movies, and etc. One big problem that's been overlooked recently is that bilingual students have limited Spanish/bilingual teachers that teach the different subjects. One class that I have seen, but I haven't really looked into it recently, they have an English teacher speaking, English speaking teacher that speaks math with a translator, but she doesn't specialize in math. So it's like she can't sit there and walk them through the problems and stuff without the other teacher coming in to help them. So it's hard for the teachers to get the information and the students to get the information that they need. So yesterday, we had our Black History show, and a lot of the students got together and protested. They stood outside the auditorium and didn't watch the show, I guess to protest that they're not getting educated properly, and we're sitting here celebrating, and we're overlooking their problems. The free ACT test for juniors is a very good investment to the students, but I feel as though seniors should also have the opportunity to take the free test. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I just have a side note that asking what really is the spring opening for the library. I know they said that recent years that they took computers, they had computers in the library, and they took them away from them, and they don't know why, and they're wondering if they're going to get them back at the end of the year.
Can you comment on that?
That's all.
Thank
you.
And the bilingual stuff.
Thank you.
Ms. McCown's just gonna.
So, Rasheen, thank you to all of our student reps and I have to turn around because I want to talk to you, for your comments and your concerns and for presenting a very balanced perspective of what it's like for you to be a student in our schools. For the specific concern you raised, Rasheen, about the library at Woodrow Wilson High School. As Superintendent Hannaford stated, we're looking at a beginning of April date. We know it has been a delay. That is something that we wish was not the case, but it is the case, and we are rectifying that by getting things in place. Our furniture was ordered. The computers have been in place. They just need to be set up. So in previous years, I'm not sure why the computers were taken out, but we have the plan in place so that all of that will be restored, and it will be a library that Woodrow Wilson students are proud of.
And Rasheen, it's going to have 20 new desktop computers.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about the
And with regard to the bilingual teaching staff, there is a shortage of bilingual teachers. That's a nationwide thing. That is not an excuse, because we want to do everything we can as a district to recruit teachers so that our students, all of them, have what they need to be able to excel in every subject area. So having a translator in the room is not the ideal case. We want to make sure that we get some content to all of our students, and we are working diligently with our Division of Talent and Labor Relations to rectify that as well. But thank you for bringing that up. We're not trying to cover anything up, but we are working diligently to provide more with what we have until we can get those teachers in position. So thank you again for bringing that up.
And Rasheen, we have a meeting set up with those students who were protesting tomorrow, and meetings alone don't solve challenges, but we're hoping to at least better understand the situation, let them know what measures are already in place, what measures will soon be in place, and hope to address their concerns on a person-to-person level.
I wanted to add to that too, Paymon.
Yeah.
I also wanted to let you know that from a board standpoint that we are going to be working with the administration and supporting them and being able to support the Woodrow Wilson and the holistic approach to the well-being, climate, and culture of the school. So, we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys, and it's something that we're all excited about.
I'll turn it over to the board report for the.
Good evening. At this time, I request approval for November and December's financial report, the bill list for this month, and also resolutions number items 1 through 14. So, anyone have any comments or questions?
All right, in accordance with the powers vested in me, State District Superintendent, under Title 18A, I hereby approve today's superintendent's agenda items and business office agenda items. And I will now turn the meeting over to our general counsel for public commentary.
All right, rules for public comment. The Camden City School District welcomes the attendance and comments from all members of the public at its meetings. This public comment period is your time to be heard on the agenda items in this meeting. Each person who signed up to comment will have 3 minutes. You will be notified when your 3 minutes are up. You cannot yield your time to another person. When it is your turn to speak, please remain at the podium and address all of your comments to the board vice president or the superintendent. Please conduct yourself in a respectful and courteous manner. For anyone whose comments or actions either harass, intimidate, or threaten the safety of any person, we will provide you with a warning or immediately end your comment time. Also, if you curse, use vulgar language, or make personal attacks, we will provide you with a warning or end your comment time. We will not interrupt you during your 3 minutes of comments. Members of the audience should also not interrupt the speaker at the podium. If you have any questions, please ask your questions during your 3-minute comment period. After the public comment period is closed, the superintendent or his designee will address your questions to the extent provided by law. We have a full speaker list today. First speaker is Jody Reuter.
By the way, as she's coming up to the microphone, I just want to say, I heard that there were some folks in the back that can't hear us, and I apologize. As we were turned to speak to the students, it was hard to speak into the microphone, but we're now facing you all. And I would just encourage everyone here on the board that speaks during the remainder of the meeting, speak right into your microphone, because there are a lot of people sitting in the back.
Hi, am I good? My name is Jody Reuter. I am the reading interventionist at Sharp School. Mrs. Ruiz asked me to speak on her behalf. I first and foremost would like to extend my gratitude to the residents and staff of Sharp Elementary for the manner in which everyone conducted themselves throughout the recent merger discussions with Davis Elementary. Despite some rather unpleasant comments about the merger, we are very proud of the way the Kramer Hill community represented itself. Further, we assure you that students of this community will continue to receive a high-quality education long into the future, with or without the merger. As principal of Sharp Elementary School for the last 13 years, I have seen a constant decline in enrollment due to the competition with charter and private schools in the area. As with all proposed mergers, it was deemed more fitting for the smaller school to move to a larger school site. In this case, Sharp pupils would move to the Davis site. Although it may appear as if we are taking the school away from the community, the realization is that with a steady decline in our enrollment each school year, we will be forced to close the doors to our beloved school within the next 2 years if we don't decide to take this opportunity presented to us at this time. The proposal by our superintendent to move forward with the consolidation for the 2017-18 school year reflects the desire to be proactive, yet thoughtful about how to address the issues both schools face. It also represents a readiness to work collaboratively, recognizing that a consolidation entails the merger not just of the staff and facilities, but also of the cultures. The process recognizes the unique identities of two great schools separately, with the opportunity to join forces to create something even greater. I am confident that the strengths of both communities and their desire to work on behalf of the children can create an opportunity for a productive consolidation process. As your principal and children's advocate for the last 13 years, I have considered very carefully how to ensure that every pupil reaches their full potential and is challenged appropriately. I am confident when I say that I truly believe Davis School will share in the same common values regarding our children and our educational system as my staff and I have. Today, I believe that the best path for us and our students is to merge. I want to emphasize that I am very proud of our community. We must not lose sight of the fact that this is a wonderful community for our families and neighbors to live. My hope is that we can move forward together and take this opportunity to inject new enthusiasm and energy into our community and with the Davis School family and community.
Oh, hold on, hey, hold on. We're going to set the tone right now. I don't normally comment on this. Brian usually does. We have a long speaker list. Please don't shout over people. Hear them out. We will hear you out. We have children here. This is the largest audience we've had in a very long time. Please, let's honor the productive dialogue that we should all be having by not shouting over each other.
I'm done. Finish.
I'm finished, yes,
okay.
That was it.
Next speaker, Jessica Fiore.
I'm Jessica Fiore. I'm a pre-K teacher over at Sharp School. I'm speaking on behalf of some of the teachers over at the school. And we just want to know that we stand here today as your child's advocate. We want you to know that we, as mothers ourselves, want what is best for your child academically, physically, and emotionally. We understand that so many of you have a strong connection with Sharp, but we firmly believe that it is the people inside the building that make the family, not the building itself. Merging with David provides the opportunity for your children to grow and develop in new ways. This afternoon, I had the opportunity to tour Davis. Some of the first things that I noticed were the cafeteria, auditorium, the well-stocked library, computer labs, 2 play yards, their gym, and the brightly colored hallways, decorated with beautiful student artwork. I see this merger being about addition, the best of both worlds coming together. As far as what your child will be learning, it will remain the same, if not improve, when we combine the best practices of both schools. One exciting thing is that with the increased number of students, we will have access to music, art, and physical education throughout the school year. With this, students will also have an array of extracurricular activities. Just as in previous years, we will also have an after-school program. There will also be opportunities to join karate, Girl Scouts, swimming, and other various clubs. We try to teach our children the importance of life skills, such as resiliency and adaptability. This is a perfect opportunity not only to discuss these skills, but to develop them as well. Changes can be very uncomfortable, but we must be uncomfortable to grow. Life is not without challenges, but it is how we face these challenges that shape our future.
Carmen Crespo.
As Ms. Crespo is coming up, I just wanted to, I should have mentioned this earlier. I want to recognize, I'm not taking up your time, I promise. I just want to recognize Councilmember Luis Lopez, who's in attendance today. He is a resident of the Kramer Hill neighborhood. He was at the last family meeting, and he is here to listen and to learn. And so we appreciate you being here to advocate for your neighborhood.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carmen Crespo. I'm the mother of 3 Camden City Public School students. My son, my 9-year-old, is a student at Sharp School. Payman, I'm here following up on the meeting that we had at Sharp. And at that meeting, you informed us of the plans to merge Sharp School with Davis School in order to move KIPP students into our building, therefore freeing up the Boys and Girls Club for Camden High students. You began the meeting by letting us know that this was just an idea you guys were bouncing around and that it was ultimately up to us, the parents, whether we want to be moved to Davis and give up our building or not. Well, we're here tonight to reiterate that we do not agree. We do not agree, and our answer is no. We will not give up our building or give approval to be moved into Davis School. I do want to stress that this is not that we have anything against Davis School itself, because we do agree that it's a beautiful building and an amazing school. We just feel that we should both be entitled to keep our buildings and keep our children in our buildings, because each school is a staple of that community, and we are 2 very different communities, and we do need our school. We expect that now that you have our decision, you will put a stop to the plans. If you choose to continue forward with these plans, we are ready to protest. We are ready to stand outside of Sharp School and protest. We will stand outside of Davis School and protest. We will stand at Frank Cooper. We will stand at Frank Cooper and protest. We will use every media and social media resource available and let the world know about the injustices being committed against our Black and Latino community, where we're losing our public schools one by one, and our children's educations are in jeopardy. Latinos entiendan, nos están quitando nuestras opciones y cerrando nuestras escuelas públicas sin contar con nosotros los que pagamos impuestos en esta comunidad. Kramer Hill, we pay some of the highest taxes. We are one of the highest tax-paying communities in the city of Camden. And I feel that we are entitled to and should be able to keep our Sharp School building open as a resource for our community. Sharp School is a staple of the community. It's done a lot for the community. A lot of us that are here today are graduates from Sharp School, and we are we received a public school education, and we want our children and our children's children to continue to receive that public school education that we were blessed with. So we say no.
Vida Neal. Vida Neal.
He didn't say anything. What is he saying?
Good evening. I want you Sharp School parents to know we got your back and your front. We don't want no more public schools taken, and we're not going to tolerate this kind of nonsense anymore. Now, I'm here to talk about a plan that the community has put together. The community has put together a plan for Camden High School. And in our plan, nobody goes nowhere. No kids are affected, okay? We have over 5,000 community people, special interest groups, activists, and petitions about this plan. We made 2 videos, one for BET and one for Eccentric. They will be aired. We are not playing with you. You will not take our high school. Camden High is rich. Camden High's building, so says the state of New Jersey, is one of the last of the noted architect Armin Davis III. If not amongst the last of his works, it is rare. Nobody tears down rare. Now, if you're gentrifying the city and you don't want anything to identify with the black and brown people, you go after what we cherish the most, which is our Camden High. I will be advocating these board members up here to take this plan and consider it. I will advocate it for. The people in the community want our main building saved. All this nonsense about some loving basketball, 2 basketball courts. We don't need 2 basketball courts. Every kid is not a basketball player. We have children that are smart. They can play basketball any corner in Camden. We got 42 parks in the city of Camden. I know because I used to clean them. And they got basketball courts. And most of our children learn to play basketball on the city streets, not in an organized gymnasium. The only time they really got to a gymnasium other than bounds of school is when they made Camden High's basketball team. So I'm gonna tell you right now, them 2 gymnasiums ain't helping nothing. We want our children to be smart, not be basketball heroes. So I'm urging this board, and I'm going to urge city council, and I'm going to urge planning and development, I'm going to urge the superintendent of schools, I'm going to urge the mayor, and I'm going to urge anybody that listen, the media, to save Camden High. Peace out.
She's so cute. Next speaker, Noemi Niev. Noemi Niev.
Ms. Nieves.
At the tone, didn't it? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Superintendent and board. I'm happy to be here, and I will be speaking about the promise that were made to the teachers at Sharp Elementary. I have been a community leader and advocate. I'm 70 years old, and I've done it most of my life. I've been at an administrative level, and I've been an advocate of this community. And never in my life did I dream that in 2017, I would be advocating for the education and the well-being and the future of our children. It's sad. It is sad to have some people sit and be hypocritical about the things they say. And you might think, oh, who is this lady speaking up there with that fat accent, thick accent? But let me tell you, I met with the superintendent, and I met with a group of parents and the principal of Sharp, Mrs. Ruiz. And in that meeting, this is what transpired. You told us, and together with her, you said that all the teachers of Sharp were going to be merged over to here to make the transition of the children more easier, ease them on into the next school. And the next day you met with the staff and you told them, not everybody's going. We're going to be choosing who's going to go. I'm advocating for the teachers of Sharp. I'm not against Davis. I'm not against any charter school. I'm advocating for these teachers because, number one, we have the highest scores in the school system, okay? Who do we owe that to? The teachers. Sharp teachers are conscientious, they are caring, and they love our children, and they teach our children. I speak because my granddaughter has excelled in all her subjects, so that means someone is doing their job, and these are these teachers. I am confident that these teachers will continue to do what they do if this school is kept open. We want our school. Like Ms. Carmen said, this is a pillar of the community, and we want it there. And we want our children and our grandchildren and other children to come and be educated in this school. And nothing against Davis or any other school, but I believe in Sharp. And I know that you promised wonderful programs yet to be seen. That's another thing that I wanted to address was, you say they're going to close our school because, number one, the test scores, that's out of the question. Number two, the building, we're still there, so something must be right. Otherwise, we've been shut down already. And number three, because we don't have enough enrollment, for goodness sake. How can we have enrollment when you have people knocking the doors to enroll? You have people calling the parents. You have a radio station who is the most popular in New Jersey. And every 10 minutes, I was standing there, they will come out and say, oh, si quiere la mejor educación para sus hijos, la mejor es Mastery in Camden. Translation, if you want the best education for your children, Mastery is the way to go. Give us an opportunity to make a choice. Do not make a choice for us. And as of now, I'm telling you, if you don't quit, we won't quit either. We will be at war. And this is nothing personal. I am advocating for my granddaughter and for all the children of Camden. Thank you very much.
Larry Zahn. Larry Zahn. Next speaker, Brian Morton.
Yeah, we can start saying who's after the person coming up. Just to give a heads up.
The next speaker after Brian is Joseph Conway.
Good evening. My name is Brian Morton. Reside at 113 State Street. Tonight I wanted to talk about the fair funding reformulation that's currently taking place at the state level. I had attended a meeting a few weeks back for the state commission, and they had townships from all over the state of New Jersey making appeals to the board for consideration of bringing in line the fair funding formula, which is asking that each district be funded at 85%. Camden currently is funded somewhere between 120 and in some instances 140% of what the state is asking. So we are cash rich in a tax poor city. And there were towns like Bayonne, New Jersey that were informing the commission that they were selling scrap metal to make ends meet in their district. There were some districts that were reporting that they were getting funded at $6,000 per pupil, others that were funded at $9,000, and others that were funded at $11,000. Here in Camden, we're funded at about $23,000, and if you have a special needs child, it can go up to $50,000. The rest of the state is now looking at Camden City and saying that it is unfair, and the state commission is now examining the formula. And I am imploring this district to get out in front of the fair funding reformulation. And yes, we are going to have to make some tough decisions, but tough decisions that are in the right framework for children. If when the Sharp-Davis merger came up, it was not presented to the community in the correct way. It wasn't. But there is a larger issue at play right now. We're currently somewhere around $2 million, and I believe the estimates are that we could be $50 million short in our budget in the next 2 years. And it is nice that we have emotional connections to some of our buildings, but we also have to be realistic in understanding that some of our buildings are currently under-enrolled by 40%, by 30%, by 20%. So some of the classroom sizes that we like, where we have 15, 14 students per teacher, are a result of under-enrollment, which is causing a severe strain on the budget. So we can't have it both ways. We cannot have it both ways. And parents, it is going to be on us to make a decision, or at some point, the board will make the decision for us. And it won't be for the consideration of mergers. It will be for the consideration of closures and layoffs. So we have to get out in front of this issue, and we cannot ignore that the issue is coming. I hear you, but we have to also hear what the rest of the state is saying in the adjustments that they're making, because
Thank you, Mr. Morton. Your time is up.
In a few years,
Let's not shut off microphones. Let's not shut off microphones.
Next speaker, Joseph Conway.
Let's not shut off microphones.
And
I think you did.
after Joseph Conway is Glenda Figueroa.
Good evening. My name is Joe Conway. I am the founder and chief school administrator of Camden's Promise Charter School and Camden's Charter School Network. Thank you for having us this evening. We brought a lot of families, some teachers, as well as students, because we do have an interest in what is going on in our Kramer Hill community. And to begin with, I think that is the first part of our conversation. Who are we in the Kramer Hill community? We have a 20-year history in the Kramer Hill community. We have been neighbors to Sharp for 20 years. We have been neighbors to St. Anthony's for 20 years. We are absolutely part and parcel to the community at large, and we are here to educate children in the best way possible, to give the best quality school program that we can have. So when we're discussing some of the elements, and I do want to weigh in on the Sharp-Davis merger to a degree, we look at it as a neighbor and some of the things that are happening. But some of the misinformation that is out there about charter schools and the takeover that we are involved in, and the idea of a takeover, it harkens back to the language that we heard in Kramer Hill when the Cherokee groups were coming in. And when Cherokee was coming in, the words were eminent domain, and gentrification, and takeover of the community. And we, as a neighbor, held meetings in our buildings for the whole community to make sure statements were made to improve the conversation and to fight back, which was something we didn't believe in, which was Cherokee coming in and taking over. Right now, we have leadership at Sharp who believes, Principal Ruiz believes that she has a vision. I commend her in her work and her effort for the past 13 years. She is a partner for us in education in the Sharp community, in the Kramer Hill community. In terms of this building and the Sharp-Davis merger, I see the advantages, I see the building, I see the communities, I see the technology, I see everything, and I see advantage in theory, and I hope to see it in practice. But as a neighbor, one of our concerns is the Sharp building itself, because we don't want to see another boarded-up school. We don't want to see a vacant building in the Camden community or the Kramer Hill community. And in any way we can help as a neighbor, we want to do that. So I have many parents here who are speaking tonight to talk about their experience, whether it be with Sharp or Davis, because we cross both organizations. We have families who sit in Sharp and our charter schools. We have families that are in Davis and our charter schools. It is a one for all in terms of making this work for every child. So I thank you. I thank you for your service. It's a hard job that you do, and it is a feisty group we have, so that is the work ahead of us. We have some of our own parents who will be speaking to this matter. Thank you.
Next speaker, Glenda Figueroa. Then after that is Vivian Nieves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Glenda Figueroa. I was born and raised in Camden City. I live in Kramer Hill. I'm a parent of 3 children who attends Camden Academy and Pride School. I've been involved with charter for 8 years. I am here to share that Camden's Promise Charter School has been an excellent neighbor for 20 years. Camden Promise supports a great education, and in this movement is positive for the community. We look forward to working with the Kramer Hill community to offer the best programs possible at Sharp and not have an empty building in our community. Thank you.
Vivian Nieves, and after that is Zulima Lombardo.
Good evening, my name is Vivian Nieves, and I'm a parent of 4 Camden's Promise students. The school has been extremely supportive throughout their education. I do support the merger of Sharp and Davis schools, and in having Camden Promise occupy the building so that it doesn't become vacant.
Thank you. Zuma Lombardo, then after that is Henry Almonte.
Good evening. My name is Solma Gonzalez Lombardo. I am the president of the board of the Camden's Promise Academy Charter School and founding board member of the Katz Dulce Academy Charter School. Although I'm not currently a resident of the city of Camden, I am proud to say that I am a graduate of Camden High School, 1985, and have spent many, many years back in the city, giving back to the city that I truly love and adore. I know it's my calling and my passion to work with the Camden students, and I know it's my calling and my passion to serve those that are at a disadvantage and don't necessarily use their voices to be heard. I'm a strong supporter of the city of Camden and the thousands of children who utilize the educational system, whether through the public, private, Renaissance, charter, magnet, mastery, whatever school they come from. I am here to say that the Camden's Charter School Network has been a huge supporter of the education of the students in the city of Camden for the past 20 years. We take a lot of pride in the work that we do in the city. We are among one of the highest graduating schools. We graduate 98% of our students, and 92% of those students go to college. Yes, we go to college. We support good education, and we believe that collaborating with other educational institutions, that together we can accomplish a lot for the students and the youth in the city of Camden. We are prepared to work with the city as well as the Camden community in whatever decision is made moving forward. I commend the Camden Kramer Hill community for taking a lead role in the education and the future of your child. Thank you to the board for your continued commitment of educating our kids and bringing about breakthrough and innovative programs for all of Camden City kids. Thank you.
Next speaker, Henry Almonte. Then after that is Alexa Salva.
Good evening. My name is Henry Almonte. I am the founder and senior pastor of the Abundant Harvest Worship Center, located on I-15 North 36th Street and Hayes Avenue. We had the honor to serve the Camden community for over 22 years. And I also the owner of Final Touch Landscaping and Property Management, which for the past 5 years have worked hand in hand with Camden Promise Charter School to upkeep the area they occupy. 20 years ago, Camden Promise Charter School began to bring life back to our community. I have seen firsthand how they senior staff lead by their example, their action reflecting their integrity. It is a true pleasure to have them as part of the community, educating, world-changing our children. With 95% graduation rate, 90% college enrollment, not including 1,000 students that have pursued high learning in the past 10 years, and many that have gone to serve in the country and the military. It is a fact that Camden Promise Charter School has the most diverse and qualified staff, with some of the best curriculum and after-school activity necessary to teach and develop the leaders of tomorrow. I am here today because I would like for all of us to understand, if we allow Sharp School to stay vacant, we only contribute to advance of poverty, drugs, homeless, and crime. By providing, yes, another desolate building for the activity to take place, I am honored to say that every area in the city of Camden Promise Charter School occupied glow with life and hope. I truly believe the children of the city of Camden and the immediate neighborhood of Kramer Hill will benefit greatly from Camden Promise Charter School expansion in the Sharp building. Robbing criminal of opportunity and become yet another beacon of hope. Thank you very much.
Alexa Salva, then after that is Jessica.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alexa Salva. Born and raised in Camden, New Jersey, I attended Davis Elementary during my younger years and later on went off to Camden's Promise and Camden Academy, where I graduated from there as well. I then went off to Rider University. I graduated from Rider in 2013. I currently work for Camden's Promise, and I have seen the growth and what great neighbors they have been over 20 years in the community. We support good education, and I am a product of this. We spoke about our children being smart, not basketball players, and this is a way to promote new ideas by merging Sharp and Davis. I definitely think this merger is a positive move for the community. The goal would be to not have a vacant building in the community of Kramer Hill, and of course, work with Kramer Hill to offer the best programs possible for Sharp. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Petin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, first, I'm going to start with, I know some of you, and I used to work for, let me go back from the beginning. I went to Camden High, and yeah. And I'm one of those ESL students that he was talking about. That I'm sorry.
Yeah, take your time. Oh.
I'm just, oh my God, stop. I was listening to everything, and sometimes it's hard to do change because I was working for Hatch before, and but it's hard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just get emotional. Sometimes I think change is not what everybody wants, but it's for the best. So my kids are in Camden Promise now, and I work for them, and I just feel my kids are safe now. I have something to say. This is a quote that says, if you give, if you get, give, if you learn, teach. And that's what I've been doing my whole life. I don't know when I get emotional. It was so many things together. And
what was touching me was when one of the students said, the ESL kids, I was one of them. And I'm sorry, everybody just gets too. First, I was like, I got this. I know what to say. I know what to do. I didn't know that was like dramatic trying to. But going back to the community, I just think that if Sharp is going to close, it's not a better place to be than Camden Promise. That's it. Thank you. I'm sorry.
All right. Lorraine Johnson. Lorraine Johnson. Next after that is Pedro De Casanova.
Good evening. My name is Lorraine Johnson. I live here in the city. I work here in the city. I've been involved with Camden Academy's charter school for 20 years. I have a son who graduated in the first class. I have a senior now and now a freshman. The school has been a godsend to me. And it's not just the education, they care about our students. They care about their community. They give back to their community. We have food banks. We open up our facilities for community meetings. It's important that if Sharp School should close, that building does not go vacant. We know that vacant buildings breed crime. We know that people dump. And with our children, it's going to affect our community, whether it's going to affect the entire community. So I ask that you consider, if it does close, that you consider Camden's Promise, because we have been good neighbors. We continue and will continue to be good neighbors. Thank you.
Pedro De Casanova, then after that is Simone Rashford.
Good evening. My name is Pedro De Casanova. I'm a board member from the beginning, and I've seen our community grow. I also grew up in Kramer Hill. My kids went to Sharp. My wife went to Sharp. So it's been there for a while, and we understand, you know. She knows I love her. She knows I love her. And it's simple, you know, we're here to educate, and we have been educating the kids in Kramer Hill for 20 years. I'm currently the president of the Camden Charter School Network, and I'm proud to be that person, you know, along with Joe and Bill. It's been a beautiful ride to be there for the children of Camden. It was a godsend for our family when Camden's Promise opened. My kids were the first 100 kids, just like Miss Johnson's kids were there. They graduated. Now my grandkids are in that school. And regardless of what happens between Sharp and Davis, we want to be that good neighbor. We housed them not too long ago when they had a gas leak, and we had all Sharp School kids in our building. We are here for them. We are here for everyone here. So please, we want us to be considered as the school of choice for our, you know, our neighbors, you know, in Kramer Hill area. Thank you.
Simone Rashford, then after that, Jorge Rosario.
Hello, my name is Simone Rashford, and I'm a mother of 3. My son Noah is currently attending kindergarten at Uncommon Schools Camden Prep. Camden Prep is a school where every minute of the school day is planned out. It's a place that celebrates your child's accomplishments, big or small. Not only do I see my son's teachers every single day, we have a two-way path of communication. It's an environment where parents have to be involved if you want your child to excel. Every parent wants your child to be great, but not every parent is willing to do what is absolutely necessary to make them great. As parents, you should be certain that the school you have selected for your child will provide them with the fundamental tools that makes them great, and not just a school that is what's most located closest to your home. Uncommon Schools Camden Prep is not only a name, it is a way of life. Camden Prep gives parents a toolbox with everything you need to make sure success is possible. This school is about action and not just talk. They teach our children the importance of hard work, determination, and resilience. Their try again aspect has taught in the classroom teaches my child to never give up. I see the benefits Camden Prep has made in my son daily. This environment also makes parents become better parents. There's accountability. It pushes parents to be invested. I make sure Noah does his homework every night, and I feel bad if not. It's not my son's teacher's job to make him learn. It's also my job too. I want to nurture his desire and his thirst to learn, making sure he's at school every single day. Noah now can do his homework independently, but I still make sure to reinforce that he's learning at school and at home. I support progress, and everyone here should too. And to anyone who opposes my choice to provide the best education for my child, my response is, how dare you? How dare you suggest to lower funding for successful schools and to put funding into schools that are continuously failing year after year? I want my son to be everything he can be, and he is on a path to success, and that started at Camden Prep Academy. He's starting to feel that he can do everything. He receives positive affirmations, and this makes him invested. The classroom is a family setting, and every child works together. I don't remember getting any of that feeling from my teachers when I was in public school. Camden Prep is one of the best schools in the city, and not only does the data show it, it proves it. Thank you to the board for giving Camden Prep for my children and our children a shot at a great education. And I would like to take this time to say that Camden Prep has really changed my family's lifestyle. I'm from Mount Holly. I'm new to Camden Prep for about a year and a half, and they care about my son. The teachers care, they're invested, and I should not feel bad for taking the time out as a parent to not only research, visit, and educate myself on all the schools surrounding, and not just the school that is located closest to my home. Thank you.
Jorge Rosario.
All right. Next speaker.
Mr. Rosario, I'm sorry I got a little sore throat, but we not here talking about Wildrow High School, charter school. We're not here for that. We're here to talk about Sharp. You know what I'm saying? We trying to save Sharp. You know what I mean? I got a son that graduated from Sharp. I'm not gonna say he's the smartest one in my house. I got 8 kids, but he's smart. Honor roll student, straight A's. I got 4 more kids there, all honor roll students. What is y'all willing to offer us? My kids are gonna come here or go to any other school. Their education gonna go down. They're gonna be running the street. Like, they gotta pass a drug set to come to school. What y'all gonna do about that? Y'all gonna tell the drug dealers, y'all gotta shut down from 8:30 to 6 o'clock. You know what they're gonna tell you? Man, you can move your whole school if you want. That's what they're gonna tell you. You sitting here giving us washed up promises, man. Y'all taking everything from us in 4 months. Y'all could give us whatever y'all wanna give us. But y'all gonna take it right back. So why offer it? Y'all wanna talk about Harry C. Sharp? Let's talk about it. I heard somebody over there talking about they've been in here for 20 years. Listen, Harry C. Sharp was built in 1922. The founder of that school and the guy that helped build it was in y'all body. So y'all want to talk about ethics, y'all going against what he built, what he stood for. And his name was Harry C. Sharp. Lived right on 32nd Street. So if y'all willing to stab somebody in the back that went with y'all and built that school, who knows what y'all gonna do to us? Y'all telling people they can't talk because a little bit of time y'all got. But we not here for Wilson. Y'all had a whole Wilson presentation. Come on. Everybody should be fair to talk, man. I got my kids back here. They love their school. I love their school. All they teachers show me respect the same way I showed to them. And I'm going to keep doing it, whether we lose or win.
Is Atira Rains speaking? Is Atira Rains? No? All right, next speaker, Sarah Jocelyn. Are you speaking, ma'am? Okay.
It was crossed out, that's why.
No, they had a little.
I got you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Atira Rains of 1296 Carl Miller Boulevard in Camden. My daughter Jalen is currently in the first grade at Uncommon Schools, Uncommon Schools, Camden Prep. I'm very proud of my child's education and her Renaissance School, and I advise anyone to go there. Now, this is Jalen's second year at Camden Prep. I see so much growth. Jalen is excelling at math. She is learning history and science in the first grade. Every day, she's excited to share with me and her dad what she's learned. My daughter's goal-oriented, and her school reinforces it, and I love that. This school encourages her to have a voice, to strive for 5, and the teachers push her for that excellence. Camden Prep has an excellent community setting. Their doors are open to parents who want to learn more. And if I could tell a parent one thing about Camden Prep, it would be to check out their school. I had a cousin who moved here from North Carolina, and she was very apprehensive about this school. I asked her to take the tour. She took it, changed her whole feeling about the school. She saw 2 teachers in every class, how engaged the scholars were, and she was convinced as to the right environment for the school, for her is Camden's Prep. We particularly love how the school's students have students as young as in kindergarten, they are taught the road to college is possible. I would tell anyone to ensure, sorry, I don't want to talk over. I would tell anyone who is unsure about Camden Prep to come and take the tour. It's not just our teachers or our school leaders. Everything here will change your mind and convince you that this is the environment your school should be in. To the superintendent and advisory board, Camden Prep is a wonderful school. I would have regretted not enrolling my child there. It's a peaceful learning environment, and the kids in this community are being given a chance to see what's better in life than what's on our street corners. I want a school that instills hope in my child's future. And Camden Prep is showing the kids in my neighborhood that college is possible. Because children that attend college become presidents, and we want to. Thank you. Thank you for letting us be here.
Next speaker, Sarah Jocelyn. Please stop making those comments.
There are children here, guys. Like, we owe it at a minimum to the children, but we owe it to ourselves not to shout at each other like that.
I'm Sarah Jocelyn. I'm speaking on a completely different subject. At the last board meeting, there was a discussion about the relocation of the Camden High students, and you were going to give a report back at this meeting, and I have not heard that. Also, I'm interested in what's going on with the Sustainable New Jersey Schools at the district level. The district was going to form a district green team, and I believe you had to put forward a letter to invite the union participation. I'm looking to see where you are in that process. Of course, the district results flow directly to the schools, and none of the schools can become Sustainable New Jersey schools until there is a district team formed. So I'm following up on that. I wanted to, of course, look forward. We're coming up to Earth Day, which is in April, and I'd like to understand more about what the schools are planning. This year, Earth Day has a theme of environmental and climate literacy for all citizens. It actually is going to be the same date of the Scientist March on Washington, D.C., and there will be marches in other places. I want to emphasize the importance in the current political climate when the EPA and the other organizations are under attack for our climate awareness, that we need to teach our students and our adults the importance of climate change. It is something where we can put the Sustainable Development Goals, the icons, posted in our schools, in each school, and integrate that at least as a reference in the curriculum as we go along. The students that are in the school now are the generation that are working towards the Sustainable Development Goals. They should recognize what they are. I'm also following up on the curriculum updates posted on the district website. I looked again today, and the New Jersey state government curriculum is still not posted. I also know that you do curriculum development, of course, you're planning now and going through the summer. I think it would be appropriate to give an update at a next meeting or what your plans are going to be. And specifically, if you're going to be doing something that relates to including all of the biology curriculum, because when I looked at it, not every part of the student learning standards were included in the current curriculum. I know that you're working on revising some of the curriculum, for example, the financial literacy and those things to become more complete. And so I'm just looking to see where you're going with that. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate the energy of the board and the work that's being done in the district. And I thank the parents for wanting the best education for their children.
Desmond Benson. Desmond Benson, then after that is Jennifer Perez.
Is that Keith? That's Desmond.
Sorry, Desmond Benson. That's him. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Desmond Benson, and I'm from the North Cabinet District, Coopers Point, and I'm a parent advocate leader for parents of Great Cabinet Schools. And as we advocate around the city for the parents, what I'm hearing is that they're not sure they have a choice for what school they could go to. And they telling us that they choosing their schools over distance instead of education. And I want to see how we could get the information out to our parents of, what schools are, where they can get a better education from what school instead of the distance they go to, and choose the choice of, a good education over distance. Every parent I'm coming across is, I'm going to the school because it's right across the street from my home. And to me, I think it should be, because of a better education where, where their students could go after that. So I just wanted to see how we could get the information out there more of not choosing because of distance and education. Or maybe, we got the Camden Enrollment Program right now, which is a good program you can make a choice for your student. So I want to ask the board to help get that information out there. Thank you.
Jennifer Perez. And after Jennifer Perez is Calvin Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm also a parent advocate leader for PGCS. I'm not against public schools or charter schools. My son's in a public school, and he's actually doing very well. But coming here tonight, I do have one question. When you guys
decide on this school changing or school closing, do parents get a right to decide on that as well for their child? Not just in education, but after school programs to better them in all aspects, academically, in arts, everything. And if not, why? Because I think as parents, we also have a voice, and I think it's time to be heard. Thank you.
Calvin Johnson. After that is James Rodriguez.
Hi, everyone. My name is Calvin Johnson. Mic check. I said mic check. We are the community. The students, the parents, the families of Camden City. We will not tolerate the blatant takeover of our neighborhood schools, like Bonzel, Molina, Pine Point, and nearly Sharp, by charter companies. We will not tolerate a representative board that does not represent our interests. We resist aligning with the interests of Secretary DeVos, and will not welcome here, and neither should you. We will not tolerate our schools being managed like corporations. We are calling on you to stand with us and do the right thing. I said, who schools? I said, who schools? Thank you.
All right, James Rodriguez. And after that is Carmen O'Farrell. Ma'am, your time is up.
Your turn and your 3 minutes. Have a seat, Vida. Who's next, Brian?
I called.
Vida, have a seat. You already had your turn and your 3 minutes. Have a seat, Vida. Vida, have a seat. She needs to be moved. Because she's so rude. Rude and appropriate. She's rude and inappropriate.
All right, next speaker, James Rodriguez.
Have a seat. 3 minutes are up. Long time ago. Who's next?
We got him.
And then who's after that? And who's after that?
Should I begin?
We're ready when you are, sir. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm James Rodriguez. I'm here with the Community United of New Jersey. I'm also affiliated with NAACP, Black Lives Matter, and elector of St. Joan of Arc's Church in the Fairview section of Camden, New Jersey. I want to let the public know about how unfair this will be to Camden Public Schools. The children will suffer in the public schools while watching the children in the charter schools benefit in our communities, and then their own schools in the same community. So in that moment, it will cause division between kids, meaning one will feel less than the other. And the reason why this will happen is because wealth will be greater in the charter schools, making it appear glamorous than the public schools, where there is no funds going to. So people will switch to a better school in their minds because of the image of a looking better school, and encouraging the children and families to switch to charter schools for a better move, in their minds, canceling all public schools. This is an attack on public schools, people, and what's really happening to the public schools. Look, we are not in competition with charter schools. We see what's happening in the taking over of the public schools and also putting profit in public to private pockets.
Our next speaker, Carmen O'Farrow. Carmen O'Farrow, then after that it's Kevin Barfield.
Good evening. My name is Carmen Otero, and I'm representing the community of Kramer Hill. The issue here is not the charter school. I commend them for the work they're doing with the children. But we can't forget the schools and the children that remain in the public school. The population that remain in those public schools are children from pre-K to 5th grade. Those kids have to travel. They have to move from Kramer Hill all the way up here. And it's a nice school, it's beautiful, it have a lot of amenities, but that is not safe for our children. Our children need to be close to their home in case of emergencies, in case that is needed. The parents to come. Those parents, most of the parents don't have transportation. They will have to walk all the way up here. I was told that it might be transportation available, but the law say that unless it's 2 miles, the distance, they will not provide transportation. So imagine all those kids coming up. There is the 36th Street Bridge in the morning, every day, 4-year-olds that are in preschool to come all the way up here. I believe that's not fair to our community. I think they need to find a different way to work this problem that you have with the school. I want to thank you for listening, and please take consideration all this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Barfield. Yeah. And after that is Daisy Nunez.
You knew that. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. Did you?
Yeah. Good evening. I didn't come to talk about Sharp, but since I'm here, it kind of reminds me of 6 years ago when they closed Parkside down, a school that was not failing at all. And now I've been looking at a blight in our neighborhood for the last 6 years, a disgrace. And then what happened was I believed in the district. And then the other important part too is about leadership. Is the leadership from Sharp coming over to Davis? When I made my decision to support the Hatch merger, it was based on the staff that I knew that my sons was going to benefit from. Once they got there, everything changed. It basically became a nightmare. So I just have to share that because, as a parent, it's very disheartening to always, and then what happened, it went from a family school to now a high school. So it's always one thing leads to another. So I didn't really come to talk about that. since I'm here, I've seen in reference to about the comprehensive audit and the action, corrective action plan. I wanted to know how can I get a copy of that information so I can review that. The other thing is I'm hearing talking about the funding. A person has spoke about the funding and how Camden is receiving as much funding. When I look at some of the things that I see on the vendors bill, such as almost $300,000 that's going to Leap Academy for pre-K services, I would like to know how is that broken down in amount of students. One of the things that I know, as far as also with the financial report, I see a lot of budget transfers. With that, technically, from my understanding, that should be done in resolution, because then you have to break down the expenditure on what you're taking the money from one area to put it. That's public knowledge. I would like to see that information too. And then another thing, like tonight, when I'm hearing about this restructuring of that technology piece, that's another thing, because a couple months ago, I seen the person who was the head of the technology department gave an awesome report, and then now I'm seeing that you're going into another area. How much are we paying Mindshift? And I would like to know more about this company too, because I like to do research. And what I actually really came to talk about tonight kind of reminded me with how we started off with the students, acknowledging the students from Camden High. And as a parent and following the basketball season in Woodrow Wilson, they didn't traditionally have, good years the last couple years. And I just, wanted to kind of give a shout out to those young men. They are our student athletes. A lot of time they don't get the type of attention and following such as Camden High, because their winning season, the winning ways. But through the, I know my time is up, but I just have to really say this, because through the adversity of them losing for these couple years, it was very heartbreaking. A lot just seeing these kids really fighting for these last couple years, and they didn't quit. And I think sometimes we overlook the fact that and I'm not taking away from those kids who succeed, but how about those student athletes? So to be a student athlete, even though you're going through those emotional roller coasters playing that sports, it's so many other life lessons that it's easy to be on top and be, focused and this and that when you're winning. But how about these tough losses that these kids are, and then they have to have the resilience to come back, day after day or week after week or even year after year. So I would just hope that, even doing a shout out for those young men, because again, just like the gentleman who spoke at the program he was just talking about, when you hear his story, he talked about how when his playing sports really broke his self-esteem down.
Thank you, Mr. Barfield.
And so again, I just wanted to share that because, like I said, we need to encourage those kids to continue, and that's always the winners, and bring them to the podium and acknowledge them for their effort and not quitting. And like I said, these are life lessons for our children.
Daisy Nunez, and after that, Jonathan Mangual.
My name is Daisy Nunez. I'm a parent at Sharp School. I am really unhappy with this idea that you have about closing the school. My girls have been there since preschool. They are happy at their school. When I talk to them about this idea that you have about merging the schools, they are not happy. My girls have been crying over that. When the little one, she came in, and I'm like, this is my niece. My other daughter is back there. When we came in, I was like, Angelique, this is where the school where they want to send you to. And she came in crying. She was crying hysterically. She said, no, I don't want to come to this school. I want to stay at Sharp. My daughters, Angeline, are you happy with them bringing you here? Do you want them to close Sharp? See, kids are happy there. I don't see any reason why. I don't see the reason why that you're trying to close the school. We as parents and as taxpayers deserve the respect to be able to be the ones that choose whether we want our kids to come here. Now, I don't have anything against this school, and it's going to be too chaotic. 300 and something kids from Sharp School and like 300 kids from this. That's just too many students in a school. I think that the Sharp School is fine the way it is. You guys should just, forget about this idea and forget about this merge. The school is running fine. The students are scoring fine at the state test. I don't see any reason why, you guys should do this merge. Let me see if there's anything else I forgot. And another thing that I'm not happy with what you guys are doing is calling parents out to trying to convince them for this, to them to accept this merge. This is not about, this is not right what you guys are doing, trying to convince them. Why didn't I get a call? Because you guys know that you're not gonna convince me anyhow. And, let's see what else, I was gonna say something else. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, come on. Talk. Well, I just forget about this idea. Parents, every parent that I have talked to, they are not agreeing with this merge. Leave Sharp the way it is and just forget about this idea. I think it's a very bad idea. Sharp School is like a family school. Everybody gets along at that school. And I've never, why I haven't sent my girls somewhere else? Because they're happy they're where they are. You don't see any bullying, anything like that going in a Sharp School. That school is, it's a good school. It's a friendly school. All students that go there love it. There's not a student that goes to Sharp School that doesn't like the school. So please, forget about this idea. Just forget about this idea and keep Sharp the way it is, please. For the well-being of our students are happy. We don't want to do this to them. That would be something horrible for them. They're already crying over that. Please forget about this idea. Don't think about this anymore and just leave Sharp the way it is. And we're fine. The building we find it's fine. We have no complaints about the building, and please just forget about this idea. Thank you.
Jonathan Mangual, and after that is Mario Perez.
Good evening, board members and members of our community. My name is Jonathan Mangual. I'm a college student and a resident here in the city of Camden. I'm also a parent advocate leader with Parents for Great Camden Schools. Currently, I work in collaboration with Camden's hometown college, Rutgers University, to engage with students of the Camden school system. Sorry, I'm first time speaking. So our goal is to educate parents and students of the importance of receiving a college education. We also educate the community on the process and requirements necessary to ensure a smooth transition from high school into college. I'm here today to tell you why I feel this is so important for our city. As we speak, industries are making their way back into our city. In the future, the city of Camden will again be the economic powerhouse it once was. With that comes a high demand for qualified candidates to manage daily operations. We must understand that the job market is changing, meaning that our youth will have to work harder and, more importantly, smarter to compete for these positions in the future. In closing, I feel that it is my responsibility to present facts to my community about what is taking place in our city and inside of our schools so that we can make better decisions regarding our educational options. My hope is that we can all come together and create a collaborative effort that will provide quality education to all students in our community so that our children will be actively involved in the future development of our city. Thank you.
Mario Perez, after that, Ulysses Delgado.
Hello. I'm a parent advocate leader for Parents for Great Camden Schools. I've adopted Yorkshire Elementary School, and I work closely with the family operations coordinator at the school. My goal is to encourage parents to be more involved with their children's education. Friday of last week, we were at Yorkshire Elementary School with 8th graders, introducing them to the Camden enrollment and showing them the choices of high schools and school activities and programs available to them. We strive for a higher education for all Camden children and believe that this is a possibility that is possible we can all work together as one community with one goal.
Next speaker, Ulysses Delgado. Then after that is Jose Santiago.
Ulysses Delgado, 3197 Federal Street. Mr. Superintendent, this is a shame what's going on. You're pressuring the Puerto Rican and Latino community. What are you doing? You guys up there, it's a disgrace what you guys doing. Competition with all the schools. We are public schools. I raised 7 kids. No welfare, no food stamp. I work 16 hours, 6 days a week for my family. They graduated from public school and they went to college. No problem with their public schools. There's no competition here for primary school. We're talking about grammar school. My nephews go to that school across the street. They live right in front of the school. And my grandson and his cousins wanted me to speak on Facebook, letting the world know what you guys are doing. The politicians are destroying the education system, public education. This year is a great year because we're going to get rid of these Democrats and Republicans who are against public school. And I'm happy. It's just like what they did to the Camden Metro Police Department, our Camden Police Department who represented our community. We lost them. Now we're bringing cops into Camden only making $30,000. Scott Thompson making $246. It's about the almighty dollar. They're taking our money from the public schools. I'm letting you know that I already spoke to the new governor we're going to have in New Jersey, Philip Murphy. And we're going to get a new superintendent in the school system in Camden who's going to represent the public school system and the city of Camden right here. This is where I grew up. I've been in Camden for 63 years, from the good times and bad times. I lost 2 brothers in Camden school here in Camden. My father was shot 5 times. I got married. I brought a kid into the world. Still married to my same wife for 45 years. And I'm tired of you politicians up there listening to the politicians. The governor appointed you to strip the public school system in Camden. It's about the almighty dollar you're all taking from us. You guys up there are all overpaid, double dipping on pensions and all this stuff. Why our residents are struggling here trying to make ends meet. Mr. Superintendent, do not shut that building down. We'll worry about edit during the hill down the road. But now, leave our school alone. This belongs to the Puerto Rican and the Latino community. Have a blessed one.
Jose Santiago.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jose Santiago. I live in Crema Hill for 35 years. I'm one of the pioneers, Hispanic, that moved into that area when they want to they used to shut at us because they don't want us there. They blocked the train, they blocked 26th Street because they don't want a Hispanic living in that area. I work for the city as an inspector, and I work as a crossing guard. And the guy who found the Crema Hill little leak, I work now with a soccer league. We had 300 cheerleaders in Crema Hill that my wife built. It's called the Taínas Cheerleaders. So I'm involved in the community a lot. Since I've been in Camden, the charter schools start coming in. First, they take up Molina, Pinpoint, Washington School, now shut. If you notice, the only one, the Hispanic community. It's all around the Hispanic community. The takeover is about money. That guy says about that person from and the Promise, I know him real well. He don't help us with Cherokee. We, the Resident Association of Crema Hill, were the one who took Cherokee to court and beat him 4 times. Otherwise, they would have moved us out the same way you guys are moving out the public school system. Mr. What's your name again? Superintendent, you said here in front of everybody, this is a better school, it's painted, it has a better restaurant, commissary and everything. We could do the same city shop. We could paint it, we could renew it, we could bring new chairs, we could have a cafeteria, and we have a beautiful school. I deal with these people every day, with all these kids. These kids are part of me. Because I cross them, I talk to them, to the parents. Job school is like a family school, the same way Molina School was. And you're destroying it. We don't need no more charter school. How many charter schools we got in Crema Hill now? In that small area, how many? Since you're the superintendent, how many we got? You know how many we got. Now we got the new one, then we got Kind of Promise, then what's the other one? It's 3 of them there. 3. Why do we need 3 charter schools? We want shop school. It's a good school, believe me. My kids went there, my grandkids is going there. It's a good school. Why you want to do that? Why you want to destroy? This is like, what you're doing is you're taking apart a family. You're taking up a family apart. Why would you want to do that? Why would you do that? You know what? You're right. It's money. It's all about money. It's about making. And let me tell you something about charter school. Yesterday, I was standing crossing the gate. This person came over to me, a man, from Mexico, by the way. And he was crying. I said, why? He says, my daughter is straight A, I can't promise. And everybody knows she was going to get the award, for the best school, for the best student. They don't give it to her. Then he asked, why you do that? They said, oh, we have to give it to another one so they can feel better. Not only that, he told me there's another school in Haddonfield where the kids who are very smart, they get some kind of a grant to go. Then they told him that they send the grant for her daughter to go to that school. They hide it for him. So I don't think the charter schools are what you think they are. That's abusing. You should let that little girl, go to that school because she's straight A student for 4 years in a row. So if I was you, I know some of you, think about that. And about the school being empty, the school ain't going to be empty. It's empty if you let it be. If you let it be, then it will be a shell. But it's not, because you keep the kids there, you paint it, you make it look good. They got good teachers, the community cares. So why destroy it? Why? Tell me a reason why you want to destroy it. Mr. Superintendent, you told me why. I'm asking you, why you think we should destroy it? I'm asking you.
I'm going to respond at the end of public commentary.
Okay?
Thank you.
So listen, it's about community. Crema Hills is a Hispanic community. And you've been taking away the public schools too long. Too many charter schools. We need public system. And thank you a lot for listening to me. Appreciate that.
Mr. Benson?
The bottom line problem is that you do not represent the people. You were not elected. And there's not a body that was duly elected that would ever suggest taking down Camden High. So, people, the question is, if you don't represent them, us, those that live in the community, like I asked the last time we saw, who do you represent? I spoke to you before, Payman. You pretty much admitted, to your credit, that you represent Chris Christie. I'm going to be brief. You know what happens to people that do Chris Christie's bidding? See this picture? That's Chris Christie's assistant chief of staff. She's a convicted felon from doing what Christie told her to do. You don't represent the people. You represent a special interest. And a federal body takes a look at it. I'm going to give you this picture as a gift. Thank you.
Dr. Keith Benson.
So I think I arrived probably about 2 hours and 15 minutes ago. And when you arrive, you guys immediately go an hour into closed session. And then when we start in the public portion, about an hour and 20 minutes was gobbled up with these folks that aren't here anymore and some folks right here that pretty much repeated themselves over and over and over again. Now, the obvious problem with that is that we already can't vote for you guys. So the fact that you guys would start a meeting with an hour of nothingness and then have these folks gobble so much time, drowning out the voices and the time of people who actually live here, you guys should take a look at that. But on to other things. For those of you that are unaware, I teach a class at Camden High School called Jobs for America's Graduates. And pretty much my program is designed to prepare seniors for life after high school, whether it be college or employment. I help students find work, I help complete their FAFSA, I help them file their taxes, I help them with their college application, essays, and their recommendations, in addition to practicing interviewing and resume writing skills. Also, to better prepare them for the world, we tackle topics such as workplace discrimination, racism, and oppression. Where most of my teaching takes place inside the classroom, teaching social justice and equity cannot stay confined to the walls of my classroom. In order to identify the manifestations of racism and oppression, in order to show my students that they should not be afraid to confront oppression, and in order to be true to the rhetoric I teach every day, I'm here to identify the racism and exploitation you on stage are all exhibiting among my Camden community. First, let's discuss the uncommon schools, which these folks left that they really need to hear. Some of you board members up there pushed, and the superintendent pushed these schools on our babies. After I presented my own research at Penn this weekend, some white guy who I didn't know came up to me and he introduced himself as Dr. Jason Javier Watson. And he told me he was a former dean at Uncommon up till last year. He told me he wrote a dissertation about his time at Uncommon. And I want to emphasize I never met or heard him before. But he began telling me about how Uncommon schools treat our babies horribly. He said the school is, quote, evil and, quote, slavery-like. I'm curious to know when the last time you all up there visited that school where young people can't talk while they eat, where students are sent home for wearing the wrong pants, wrong shoes, wrong socks, or belts, where the teachers themselves are reprimanded for being too kind to students. This is the type of school you guys on the board force on our communities, on our black and brown babies, where they have only 3 hours a day for literacy. They have 2 hours for math. They have only 1 hour of science. And that was a fast 3 minutes, but I'm gonna keep going. And 1 hour, which is not promised, only 1 hour of physical activity time. I asked this former administrator there, I said, would you send your kids to your school? He said, quote, never in a million years, not for all the money in the world would I subject my kid to that kind of abuse. I guess we should say thank you for bringing us Uncommon. Secondly, this Camden High School plan is a separate embodiment of oppression. You folks know how important Camden High School is to this community, but y'all don't care because either you have been taught not to care about your own history or because you don't care about this community. I know many of you are Camden County Democratic Committee persons, which means you guys are all puppets for Norcross and the mayor. The superintendent is here only for as long as the governor says he's here. With the arrival of a new administration, this superintendent can be gone very easily. So why does he have the power to make a permanent decision like destroying Camden High School when he himself is here only temporarily? To add to that, the superintendent himself said he cannot promise a new school will even be built after Camden High School is destroyed. And I'll say that again. The superintendent came to Camden High School and said to the staff that because of politics, a new governor can decide to not build a school at all. The promise of a new Camden High School is not a promise. The fact is, the people on stage want to destroy Camden High School at all costs without a clear plan of where our kids are going to go, and they want to destroy the school anyway. The people on stage are also prepared to shut down a well-regarded Sharp school and force a charter school in there, thereby oppressing the parents in the Kramer Hill side of town, ignoring their wishes and their concerns. While the obvious racism and oppression of the people on stage continue to exhibit us, we in the audience, we know that this is not normal and that this is not acceptable.
Please wrap up your comments, Dr. Benson.
I will. We in this audience and at home should unite and fight back collectively and in unity. Sometimes we have to stand up and let our voice be heard. Together, Black and Latino, in the spirit of unity and justice, can and need to fight for the schools we love. Long live Camden High, long live Sharp.
Elizabeth Lozado. Elizabeth Lozado. Elizabeth Lozado. Next speaker, Jamal King.
No, you gotta be on the sign-up list.
Ma'am, you have to sign up to give public comment. Jamal King.
Listen, my name is Jamal King, and I've been a resident of the Kramer Hill community for over 25 years. I have 2 children currently in Sharp that I brought over here from the Philadelphia school system. I brought them over here because Sharp School was a better school. Academically, they are one of the highest in the area. What you see right here is Sharp School. We're not just a school, we're a family. And we're going to stand here and we're going to be in your face every time you guys decide that you guys are going to even try and shut our school down. We are the heart of our school. We are the heart of our community. And we will refuse to merge with Davis. And Pete, I told you this last week. When it comes to my children, I give it all. Now, I'm just hoping that you guys are ready to see my face every day when you guys wake up and you guys decide that you guys are going to merge with our school, with this school. Thank you.
Next speaker, Terry. Sorry, I can't read the last name. Terry? And after Terry is Sean Brown.
My name is Terry Chinnan. I'm a parent at Sharp School and a volunteer parent at Sharp School. These are my honor roll students. And she'll be starting preschool next year. At first, I wasn't for the move. I wasn't at all, because I went to Sharp School as a child. And it's like real emotional, because we did a lot in that school. My baby painted the parent room in that school. So yeah, I was against it. But I was called a traitor because I decided to change my mind. Because I came and I looked at this school and I seen that it offered my kids more than what our school has to offer right now. I want my kids to get the best education that they can get. I feel like if we do the merge, both schools combined, our kids and our teachers can work together, and we can still maintain our test scores, and our kids can make it in this school. Now, everywhere we go, it's a bad neighborhood. Where I live at in Kramer Hill, there's drug sets and gangs all around us. So wherever we live at in Camden, it's going to be something bad. But it's what you make out of that neighborhood. It's what you do in it. We don't have to socialize with those people. I teach my kids to go for an education because an education is important in this world. And I'm for the merge to change because everybody needs some change in their life. I love my school. I'm not against charter, but I wish that our school didn't turn into a charter because I have an 8th grader in charter who's an honor roll student that I took out of public school because he was being bullied in vets. So you can't put past judgment on other schools because whatever school you go into, whether it's charter, whether it's public, there's going to be some type of negativity. But it's up to us parents and the teachers in the school and the community to work together and not against each other. So call me what you want. I don't care. I'm for my kids' education, and that's it. Thank you.
Sean Brown.
You spell Sean Brown?
I know. Did you change the spelling of your name?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about that offline.
Yeah,
All right. Good evening. I want to be the weirdo here and talk about something completely different, and that is the budget, because this is budget season. As my former colleague, Ms. Reyes Morton, remembers, back when we had a Board of Education, in February and March were devoted to special meetings and meetings talking about how the budget, which will be approved in April, reflects the needs that our students and our schools have. So I just want to remind you of a few promises that have been made by the superintendent and by his administration in comparison to some of the challenges that we have. So in the past, we've talked about variations of a gifted and talented program. We talked about Second Step, which is a social emotional curriculum, which, as I recall, is being piloted in some of the schools in kindergarten and first grade. And last year, it was said that would, if deemed successful, that would be expanded to possibly more grades. As not tonight, but as Gary Frazier has talked about, and the Camden Education Association have talked about community schools. For a community schools model to be fully fulfilled, it doesn't only take money from NJEA, it takes money from the school district as well to solidify and fund those partnerships. Where Camden High obviously has extreme facilities issues, which is what brought us a lot of the debate that we have tonight. But a lot of the district schools have facilities issues, and traditionally and historically, the biggest issues of facilities have been addressed in the budget. And then on the other end, with cuts, when it comes to RIFs, reductions in force and layoffs, these are things that as a community, and especially for those of us that are super involved in these things, I would argue that, one, we need an opportunity to talk about it, which really should be a special meeting. Two, we can't let these other issues surpass because we've been distracted by really a single issue, which relates to displacement and disruption from what's going on with Camden High. So what I fear is that there's going to be one 10-minute presentation in April. There's going to be some Q&A with the community, and then the superintendent is going to approve a budget, which may make a lot of sense from the perspective of the central office, but might not make a lot of sense once there are deeper discussions that go on with the community. As Dr. Benson has noted, and Dr. Danley has noted, we are the least democratic school district possibly in America, certainly in New Jersey. We don't vote for our board, nor does the board vote for its budget. And nor is there a board of school estimate that approves the budget. So we have the least accountability for the most important thing, which is, as Dell and other people have talked about, which is how we're spending our money in the district. So, Mr. Superintendent, I would ask when you give your response to the community that you just devote maybe a few minutes on letting us know where you are in your budget process, and also, maybe even more importantly, how we can, whether it's a special meeting or whatever, what the process will be for there being a discussion about these things, so we're not having our backs against the wall 7 weeks from now in April when the budget deadline is here. Thank you.
Amir Khan, then after that is Wilson Klein.
Good evening. I had some other things to talk about, but I do want to address something a little different tonight as well. You know, the Creative Arts Jazz Band just recently received an invitation to Amsterdam. And this is a really interesting festival. And it's kind of something that we wanted to bring to your attention now because it's time sensitive. Creative Arts Jazz Band is the first band selected from the United States to participate in this competition. They're also the first and only black band to participate in the competition as well. Tremendous exposure for Creative Arts Jazz Band. Challenge, of course, is the money. It's awesome what we heard about the French Club from Woodrow Wilson going to Paris and now close to the $40,000 budget being met, especially with a $14,000 donation today. It was awesome to see Subaru get behind Camden High School with their group going to Atlanta. This is costing approximately $1,200 per student, taking about 25 students along with chaperones. So the bill there is about $30,000. They leave in May, and of course, they have to have all the money in over the next 60 days. So now you have 25 students running around trying to get their passports, and you have a bill of about $30,000 that needs to be covered between now and May 1st. So I'm sure the district will chip in some. Really, this is to the district as well as to the Camden community that we need to obviously rally behind the creative arts jazz band, multiple state champions. The state championship, if you've ever been to one of the state championships with the creative arts jazz band, they're scared. They're shaking their boots when creative arts walks in there because of the amount of state championships. I think since 2004 up until current, maybe over the past 12 years, I think 6 or 7 or 8 of those state championships have been won by Creative Arts Jazz Band and the big band there. So again, we need to get behind these students. You can imagine what takes place with 25 students from Creative Arts going all the way to Amsterdam, having that kind of exposure, how it's going to impact their lives, and how it will bring back all that exposure to the city of Camden. We're actually going to corporate America. We're going to sponsors as well. We need as much support as we possibly can. Again, $30,000 over a 60-day period. So it was great how the press got behind the French Club going to Paris. We need that same kind of support now for creative arts. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Wilson Klein, then after that, it's Gary Frazier. Wilson Klein. Next one, Gary Frazier.
Good evening. So, yeah, I think I want to reiterate a little bit of things that have been going on. Yeah, it is budget season, so of course there are some things that we do want to see happen in regards to that. As I'm looking across the district, I'm continuing to see what's going on in the process of Camden High, in the process of what's happening with Sharp. And of course, I'm going to put on my advocacy hat real quick and say, you know, a solution was offered up. The historics of Camden High have been proven. Now, we could go back to when the original funds for Camden High was allocated for its renovation. Something sprued out in talks last night about the potentials of the process not moving forward with the children getting a high school. So I'm gonna say this first to the community, and then I'm gonna say it to you, the district. If our kids don't get a high school, the Gary Frazier that you see that has been very calm will not be. Our kids will get a high school. That will happen. There are a number of issues that we can take a look at. If the advocacy group has offered up meaningful information that needs to seriously be taken a look at, the historics of our city, the historics of our people are vital to us, are vital to the forward progression of generations that will come behind us in the city of Camden. That is, without a shadow of a doubt, our history is important to us. So I think, you know, in the advocacy of those groups, I think it would be worth the while that, you know, we would at least have a conversation to entertain what we could possibly do in terms of moving it forward. I don't think there's a question of the children getting a new high school. It's a question of preserving some very important things that means a lot to a lot of us in the city. We had a lot of stars that come up out of Camden High. You know, we had a lot of talent that came up out of Camden High, so I would take a look at that. In terms of Sharp, we had crossed the battle with Sharp being one of the best performing schools in our district. And it still remains one of the best performing schools in our district. And I think that you're going to get this advocacy from the parents of that school who are impassioned, who feel that they have a great deal of respect for those parents in that community, for those children who attend those schools. And, you know, look, man, the political agenda when it comes to our children, I still say it at the forefront. It might not be at the hands of you, but it's delivered at the hands of somebody, or this didn't have come out of anywhere. And I understand that my time is up, but I want to say this because to me, it will always be about our children first. I mean, some of the speakers said some very touching things tonight, and it is that, you know, there are state mandates that regulate enrollment in school. So that means collectively together, we should be doing everything that we can do to make sure all of our schools' enrollment is at least where it needs to be at some form or fashion, so that you know, it's an even slate for us around the board. There are options that can happen with Sharp and a merger, but I think that calls for a broader conversation, and the parents need to know those options that are available. I think the stressing of saying that this was a conversation as opposed to something that might be edged and sewn might soothe a little bit of the madness that's going on. And I would say finally to all of this, I'm still concerned about the impact of what's going to happen with those children from Camden High. I say that because May is right around the corner, and so my clock's ticking. And I say that my clock is ticking because the accountability might not lie with you guys here at the board because you guys are an advisory board, right? But the accountability lies somewhere. I'm going where I know the original funds was for Camden High. So I would hope that this body will continue to work collectively. You guys put together a committee in this community who say that they're viable. They have been brought together. They should be offering feedback from these advocacy groups on a daily basis. It shouldn't be something that should be just going on. Time is ticking.
Please wrap up your comments.
Yes,
Mr.
time is ticking. This committee group needs to work very closely with the advocacy groups in the city of Camden to ensure that everybody's voices is being heard, that transparency will continue to exist. And Mr. Payman, I am looking for some feedback on what the impact will be on those children, whether it be in another school or wherever they're going to go. We need to get down to business on where we are going at with this comprehensive plan. The infighting will only put my advocacy hat on. The School Construction Authority is not off the loop with this. So I'm going to put it in the hands of this district and trust that they will work collectively along with the community before I pull my advocacy hat out and stop everything from moving with the School Construction Authority. Thanks.
Kelly Francis, next speaker. And after Kelly Francis is Mongalisa Davis.
Good evening, board members. I have a couple of questions. I've been looking over your guide to Camden schools for the 2017-2018 school year, and I saw some very interesting things in that guide. First of all, Leap Academy, of course, at this point has 4 individual schools, 3 high schools and 1 elementary, I believe. But in your guide, you only list 1 location for Leap, 130 North Broadway, which is the old Wilson building. Now, I don't know why you only list 1 location when Leap actually has 4 distinct separate locations and 3 high schools and 1 elementary school. And the Camden Charter Network, is that composed of Catch Dalsey, Camden Pride, Camden's Promise, and Camden Academy Charter High School? Are they all under the same management, basically? That's the question that I'm asking. I notice they're all listed under the Camden Charter Network system. And with regard to the vocational schools, in your guide, you list Camden County Technical School in Gloucester Township with 1,286 total students. Now, is that the total population of the school, students from all over the county, or is that the number of Camden residents who are attending that school? Is that number 1286? the entire population, for the entire county, or just for the city of Camden students? And also, Camden County Tech in Pennsauken is listed as a population of 729 students. The same question. Are those all Camden City residents, or is that for the entire county? And also, according to your guide, in the 2017-18 school year, there will be 13 high schools operating available to Camden City residents, Camden City school students. 13. Camden High, Woodrow Wilson, Brim Medical Arts, Creative Arts, Morgan Village Academy, Big Picture High School, and among the charters you have the Freedom Prep High School, the Leap Academy Prep School, the original Leap Academy High School. Then you have the Leap Academy STEM High School. Then you have the Leap Academy STEAM High School. And you have the Camden Academy Charter High School. And under the Renaissance, you have the Mastery High School. And the vocational, you have Camden County Tech, Pennsauken, Camden County Tech, Gloucester Township. So that's 13 high schools will be operating in the 2017-18 school year. I don't think the public is aware of that. But in any event, that's what you have in your guide at this point. And of course, with regard to Camden High School, of course, you know what my position is, and I believe it's a scam perpetrated on the people of Camden in order so that Governor Christie can reward his contributors to his failed presidential campaign. He has to get contracts in the hands of those people, otherwise his political future is over. Okay, that's all I have.
Next speaker, Mongalisa Davis. And after that is Ivory Edwards. All right, next speaker, Ivory Edwards. Then after that is Eugene Cooper, Jr.
Hello, my name is Ivory Edwards. I've been sitting here waiting patiently. I got off work at 6 o'clock to come to this meeting. Y'all should not have delayed the meeting a whole hour after. It's a lot of Sharp parents that had left, okay? My children, straight A, honor roll students went to Sharp. I was born and raised in Camden. I went to public schools. There's nothing wrong with public schools. I disagree with the merge with Sharp and Vax. My son went to this school. My son learned about drugs. They brought drugs up in this damn school. They taught my son about sex and everything else, and I'd be damned to let my two daughters come here to learn this. They not learning nothing. Sharp is an excellent school, #1 top school. These charters that y'all building now, y'all taking over. Instead of y'all busing these kids to vets, y'all need to put that money into Sharp. Instead of opening up all these charter schools, y'all need to put the money into these public schools that we have left over. And that's the way it should stay. We should not have to sit there and worry about our children going to another school way out their way. My daughter been at this school for a long time. My 3-year-old came to this Sharp school. It's going to be hard for them to transition. It should not be that way. If anything, y'all could extend Sharp Elementary and let it go up to 12th grade. Fix it up. Don't close it down. That's our family. And y'all just leaving me one choice. If y'all shut down Sharp, y'all making me and my children move to another state where my children will get their education. And it shouldn't have to be like that. So I just want y'all to really think about it, because at the end of the day, y'all hurting our children. It's about our children and their future. It's not about y'all or us. It's about them. And I just want y'all to think about it before y'all even decide to do this change. It should stay the same. Thank you.
All right, last speaker, Eugene Cooper, Jr. Eugene Cooper. All right, that ends public comment.
I'm going to be brief. I know a lot of people have already left. So just to start with Sharp, I want to address some of the questions that were raised and just in general comment a little bit further beyond what I said during the initial presentation. And starting with commentary we just heard from Ms. Edwards, and I realize that there are a lot of emotions. We want what's best for Sharp. And Sharp is in a very unique situation where the performance is still really high, but the enrollment has declined pretty significantly. And Ms. Ruiz, who has been leading that school valiantly for 13 years, during those 13 years, the enrollment has declined by 100 students. So when she started, it was about 425 students, and now it's about 320 students. And during those 13 years, Sharp has actually added a 6th and a 7th grade. So it began as a pre-K to 5, and now it's a pre-K to 7. So even though they've grown the grade levels by 2, the enrollment's declined by 100 students. The building's still in decent shape. It's not perfect. I think we'd all like to see improvements there, but it's not in disrepair. And the performance has been stable, and it's the highest performing district school. So it's in a very unique position. A number of parents here said they don't want a vacant building, and they don't want to see Sharp close. And I just want to make very clear, no one is saying Sharp will close this year or that year. The point is that if this trend continues and the performance is still stable, we can't do the things you're asking us to do, which is take the money and put it back into Sharp. That's really hard to do when there are fewer students, because the way we're funded is per pupil, per student. And our funding comes in for every student that is at a school, we allocate the funding accordingly. And when there are fewer students, it's much, 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 much harder to do basic maintenance and repairs, to offer full electives and extracurricular activities, and you name it. And so that is the challenge that we are facing. We want what you want, yet there are basic kind of dollars and cents that we have to react to, and we have to be mindful of those realities. And that presents a real conundrum, and I feel as though we're having this very, at times, passionate debate, and I hate that we are. And so we wanted to make sure that we listened and we provided everyone the opportunity to voice their opinion and gave them the opportunity to visit this building and gave them the opportunity to ask all questions. And we're going to continue to do that for the next couple of weeks at a bare minimum. I want to address a few facts. So the first is, and I heard Ms. Otero mention transportation as being a challenge. We are offering full transportation. If we move forward with this proposal, we would be offering full transportation, whether that's a yellow bus that picks up every student on the route, or it's a separate shuttle that picks up at a central location for the students that used to go to Sharp over to Davis. But we will offer full transportation. Ms. Ruiz would move over. We would have a co-principal model for next school year. We believe that if we move forward with this, it's important that both school leaders are there to help their respective students, families, and staff and ease through that transition. Let me just leave it there, because I know a lot was said. There's plenty for us to digest. And this does, in some respects, tie to the budget. And so I think that's a nice segue to some of the comments we heard about the budget. Brian Morton, Sean Brown, and others who did comment on the budget. We're not doing this solely because of funding. We're not doing this solely because it alleviates the Camden High space situation. I want to be very clear about that. We believe that this is a proposal that could benefit a greater number of kids and allow us and the staff we have at Sharp to touch more lives at Davis and to offer more resources. But there is a budget impact, and there is a Camden High space relocation impact as well. So on the budget, as far as where we are right now, and we'll have more to share next board meeting, and certainly between now and then as well. The governor gave his budget address today, and I can tell you that we have far less information at this point this year than we did last year. So in the governor's budget address, he basically asked the legislature in the next 100 days to figure out school funding. And so there's a bill that came out of the state Senate led by State Senator Sweeney, and there's been some talk in the Assembly, but nothing has come out of the Assembly. There could be some impact on our per pupil budget, meaning we may not be flat year over year. So that's the direct response to your question, Mr. Brown. We don't really know what the target is yet, and so we're not as far along as we were this time last year. I'm hopeful in the next 3-4 weeks we'll get a little bit more clarity as to what could play out. And so if our per pupil goes down, we're in a bind. And then we're going to have to look even harder for cost savings. And our impact to staff could be more significant than last year. So last year we were able to manage through without any tenured teachers being impacted, but we certainly lost some support staff and we cut the central office. This year, if the aid isn't flat and then some, we could be seeing more significant layoffs. And so we're going to monitor that closely. I've been advocating, as have all others at this table, with local electeds and also with the commissioner and a whole host of other folks in Trenton. Other questions that were raised. So Ms. Jocelyn, you mentioned the relocation along with a few other items, and I think we should just catch up after the meeting. The relocation plan is a little bit up in the air right now. So this Sharp-Davis conversation is part of that. And under a blue sky, everyone's happy. We heard the Forest Hill families last month. Now we're hearing from the Sharp families this month. So we have been trying to work at this, but each of these issues requires, I believe, a separate and focused conversation, and that's what we're trying to do right now. And we'll come back to you with some more information at the next board meeting, or we can set up some time between now and then. Mr. Barfield, we can certainly share with you a copy of the audit. You mentioned the $300,000 payment to LEAP for pre-K services. Do you want to quickly comment on that?
Sure. So the students who are at, we have 240 students in the pre-K program at, LEAP Academy, and it's actually, the district contracts with ELRA, the Early Learning Research Academy. So those are Camden City School District preschool classrooms. So that's why it says 300,000 there.
And we'll give you some information about Mindshift as well. Be happy to sit down and talk to you about that. Is Dr. Benson still here? He left. Okay. I just want to, I'm a little surprised by his comment because I greatly respect where he's coming from, and he's principled and has been consistent from the first day I met him. But his comment about, I said the next governor could not build Camden High School. I did say that. And that is the nature of representative democracy with term limits. So nothing is a guarantee and there in perpetuity except for the Constitution, right? Like any time you have a new governor, you can undo what the previous governor did. That was my only point. So I'm not sure why he's so incredulous about that. And there's an irony there because that democratic cycle, in many ways, put Camden High in the situation it's in today. When one governor pulled the plug on the project and the board couldn't make a tight proposal and things delayed and dragged on and new people were elected and then the chaos ensued and kids suffered the consequences. So that is the only point I am making. Now, if we move this project forward with a sense of urgency, and our mayor has been very clear about this, and you begin the process and the construction is happening, it makes it very unlikely that a governor would then pull the plug. The problem with the 2007 plan was nothing moved other than paper. We need to actually get shovels in the ground and reconstruction started. Then there will be a moral imperative to continue the project with the next governor. But that is the essence of term limits. So I'm not following where he's coming from on that, and I just wanted to call that out. That's it for me, because most of the other people who I have comments in response to have left the room. So I'll open it up to any of our board members and our board vice president for any final comments.
We appreciate everyone that came out tonight. There was a mixture of, groups here, and to me, I'll speak for myself when I say this. Coming from the public school system and the charter school system and seeing my other family here for the first time was a great feeling. You see what the Camden City School District is made up now of. And, we are put in a tough situation as a board because we have to ultimately, at the end of the day, be fiscally responsible, all the while making sure that we deliver a quality education to every student in every classroom. And so, we're put in tough positions, and we're going to be put in tough positions because of the current makeup of the district, and and we're okay with that. And so, and we appreciate your advocacy as always, and it is exactly what it is, and we have to be mindful of the near future and the budget, and how those things are going to impact us later on, and we have to be responsible in decision making today. And so just keep those things in mind, we thank you very much, and unless anyone else has anything else to say, that would.
I just want to say that I've been an advocate for Camden High to remain and for the new building to start without the demolition of Camden High School. I'm a Camden High grad of 1968, and it was 2 of the best years of my life being at Camden High School, okay? So, but whatever the plan calls for, because we're $92 million short of the original $225, that's what we have to go with, unfortunately, okay? But just so you understand, we who went to Camden High are all advocates for the building to stand, but we have to go with whatever has to happen in order to get the new school, okay?
The plan. Any other board members have anything else to say before I make a motion to adjourn?
No, I just appreciate how the parents advocated for their children's education tonight. I think it was done in a decent, nice and respectful manner, and I'm glad you took charge, Superintendent, when it got a little out of hand, to remind people that children are present and that we are the examples for our children, and just appreciate the advocacy. We sit and watch at this point.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned that too. I did really, really appreciate the number of parents that spoke today. A couple got emotional. It's not easy getting behind that microphone, and I would agree that it was a productive conversation.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
And may I have a second?
Second.
May I have roll call? Ms. Teresa Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Catherine Blackshare? Mr. Jose Brito Bueno? Ms. Dorothy Burley? Mr. Joshua Cole? Ms. Taisha Manier? Mr. Wasim Mohammed?
Yes.
Ms. Felicia Reyes?
Yes, ma'am.
This evening, the motion has been adjourned, has been accepted. Thank you.